Here we have with Richard Jack. He's responsible for building test solutions Ltd in UK. He's going to tell us about his product, and we're in AIVC in Dublin. Richard, thank you very much.
No, thanks. Nice to see you again.
Please tell me more about your product, please.
Yeah, I will. So our main product we're talking about here is to measure air tightness, and it's this kit here called Pulse, and it's an alternative way of measuring to a blower door. It was invented at the University of Nottingham, and the whole idea of it was to measure a lower pressure difference, so closer to how the building's operating in normal use. And technically the difference is, instead of having a blower door and a false door in which you blow air through a fan, instead of doing that we compress air into an air cylinder, we call it an air receiver, and then we release air from there. And instead of having a steady state pressurization, we pressurize the building in a sort of a curve and analyse basically the same data, so the building pressure and the amount of leakage.
Okay, so I guess it's time for me to come closer. And I guess there is a paper, I saw a presentation where you compare the results of this, and the traditional blower door. So
yeah, if you go on our website, if you go on our website, we did a comparison of more than 100 buildings with blower door and pulse, and we also did some stuff in test chambers. So this is it.
So it's your invention?
It was invented at the University of Nottingham, and the company Build Test Solution was founded to sort of commercialise the product.
Perfect. So tell us, how does it work?
So you'd have a compressor, which we haven't brought with us because it's too heavy for the plane, but you compress air into this, which is the air receiver. So inside the dressing, it's just a standard air cylinder, sort of thing you'd have for air brakes on a truck or something. And then the air comes out of this nozzle here. So in a pulse like that, and then this is the controller. Here we're measuring the pressure in the building, and we've got a reference tank inside, so that at the start of the test we close off the reference tank, and then the actual measurement you make is the pressure difference between just before the test started and during the test. So it's like a differential pressure measurement, and then it calculates all of your calculations in there, and you get your air tightness. It's like a push button test, get your result in there.
You actually, this way you avoid to you take under consideration also the door, that the blower door does not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll measure the whole building, including the door, and if you're in super airtight buildings, that can be important. Like passive houses, one of the big sources of leaks can be getting your door in nicely.
Exactly. And but you said it's at 4 pascals, right? It's not 50 pascals, right? So it's, at the moment you promote this solution in the UK mostly? Yeah,
so mostly there's actually a unit on every continent apart from Antarctica.
Okay.
But most of our use is in the UK, just because we're started in the UK. So we've done about 80,000 tests in the UK, or our users have done 80,000 tests.
80,000 tests already.
So it's quite a few, and it's used mostly in retrofit, so existing buildings, and it's used before and after retrofits to inform the ventilation strategy.
Yeah, that was a question I've done. So if it's necessary to do it before and after, but it's good statistic for the technicians, and it's quite easy because you don't have to, to work and install the frame and the door and all this. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a little bit easier for the residents because you don't have to block up access.
Yes.
You don't have the air coming in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how's the market in UK regarding the air tightness? Are people accepting the test? Do they require the test? The market? How does the market answer?
Yeah. So in the UK, some air tightness measurement for new builds has been in place for about 15 years. So people are very familiar with it in the industry. And now all new builds require an air tightness test. But the thing that's happened and changed recently over the last 3 years is that any state-funded retrofit measure also requires an air tightness measurement, which wasn't the case before. So really that's where all the use of pulses come in. So this is a new, before 5 years ago there would have been maybe hundreds of existing buildings with air tightness tests, and now there's tens of thousands. And that it's all driven by ventilation requirements. It's a little bit to do with energy efficiency, but it's mostly to do with making sure there's enough ventilation. UK buildings don't have a lot of mechanical ventilation, they're relying on infiltration. So it's testing, is there any infiltration, or actually it's building airtight and you must put a ventilation system in.
Do you believe this is an instrument that helps people to make a better house, living better?
I mean, it really allows you to make an informed decision. Anecdotally, okay, I moved into a flat, an apartment built in 1960, not built to high energy standards, and you would expect that it wasn't very airtight. It was drafty. But actually, I measured, and it was a really airtight building, so airtightness at 50 pascals of less than 2. Okay. But it had no ventilation system, so it was terribly mouldy. So the measurement allowed me to see, okay, this is why I've got to improve the ventilation, otherwise we're all going to get asthma and be coughing all over the place.
Great, so you have some kind of instructions based on the results.
Yeah. The other thing we've been doing, which is new, is measuring not just the whole building but also rooms.
Yes.
So measuring bedrooms. So I moved from this flat into a house, and I was expecting a baby.
Yeah.
And the house is not very airtight. So I'm making it more airtight, but it's still quite leaky. But one particular room was super airtight, and that was the room that the baby was going to go in. So then I knew I needed more internal ventilation and more. I put some triple vents on the window to get some ventilation into that particular room.
Okay, so it was a very important instrument to plan everything inside the house, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's you can't manage what you don't measure.
Exactly.
Yes,
perfect.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for your time. We keep in touch. Thank you.